Hey everybody, it's your favorite sports talk show, KBR Sports, the best sports talk show your 24-hour day, hosted by WODU Studios, the best in college radio. I'm your host, Brendan Abbin. To my left, my co-host, Rashad Pennell. To my right, my co-host, Khaled Lewis. Bringing you KBR Sports this morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning. We have a good amount of topics for y'all today. We're going to be talking about, Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones recently saying that regardless of whether they can qualify for the playoffs or not, he's going to play Tony Romo regardless of it all. And then also coming down to things with Greg Hardy, it's not a surprise that Jerry Jones wants to do whatever he can to win. But at this point now, especially after the Greg Hardy photos have been released, a lot of people are calling for Greg Hardy not to play or calling for him to be cut from the team. So we'll get into some of that. And then also we're gonna talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, man. Like you get the number 2 pick in the draft, and what's it called? Yeah, you get number 2 pick in the draft technically, and you haven't really done anything with them. I mean, D'Angelo Russell has underwhelmed at this point in the season. Granted, he's a rookie, so you can only expect so much. But the picks before him, what's it called? The player you let slide, Jahlil Okafor, you let Jahlil Okafor slide to pick D'Angelo, and Jahlil Okafor has performed grandly very, very, very well, or much better than D'Angelo Russell at this point in time. And also Kristaps Porzingis, who the Knicks got at 4th. So we'll get into that some. And we'll also talk about the Andrew Luckless Colts and where this recent injury to Andrew Luck where that leaves the Colts, because I mean you can only wonder, because they technically perform better without him. So we'll get into that some, and then we'll give you our NBA and NFL predictions for tonight's games, and also some of the games for Sunday afternoon, or on Sunday in general. But getting into the first topic, talking about, like I alluded to earlier, about the Dallas Cowboys and Romo. Jerry Jones pretty much came out and said that no matter what seed they are, no matter where they are in the regular season, what their record's looking like, he will play Tony Romo regardless whenever Tony Romo is healthy. And you've heard some people say, well, is it worth it to risk playing Tony for pretty much like wasted season if they can't make the playoffs? Because then you risk injury of him re-injuring that collarbone, because it's the same collarbone that he's been injured with from years past in the same area, and why now it's more serious than it was before. So people are wondering, is it worth re-injuring that collarbone? So we'll address the resident Cowboy fan in the studio. Rashad, what do you think of Jerry Jones' comments?
I agree with him. You played Romo. One, you still need Romo to get his reps in after his injury. I know it's the end of the season. You still need to gain speed, because in the offseason, it's not really gain speed. And Tony Romo doesn't practice all the time. Mm-hmm. So obviously he doesn't practice as much. Preseason, he barely plays. So where is that time to get accustomed to it again if he's not playing? Yeah. And even right now, we're still not at the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The NFC East is weak right now.
Very.
So technically, we can still make the playoffs when Romo comes back. Especially if we can win this week, that'll help. Mm-hmm. But he can still play. And see, the difference with this injury compared to somebody else's injury who shouldn't play, it's a bone. It's a broken bone injury. Mm-hmm. It's not a ligament tear or anything like that. Bones heal stronger when they recover. Mm-hmm. Well, bones are stronger when they recover from a fracture or a complete break. So technically, re-injuring it from a broken collarbone, if it's fully healed, isn't like his chances, if he gets hit again, it's going to just shatter right then and there. Yeah. The bone comes back stronger. So technically, it doesn't really bother him if he plays. Now, if it was a ligament tear, like people who ACL tear who managed to miraculously come back in the same season, they shouldn't play. Well, he got hurt in college. But yeah, see, that's something. You see how he was ready to play, but y'all kind of like prolonged it a little bit, and then he was like, nah, I got to play. Yeah. It was kind of like that. Like, a ligament tear can happen again. Mm-hmm. But an injury to a bone is not likely to happen. Look how many years it took to happen again. This was like a freak accident. He just landed on it wrong. Mm-hmm. So I think you should play him.
The Eagles do that. He just keeps like.
It was. What is his name?
He just keeps.
I think he's a rookie too. He's a rookie.
He's terrorizing y'all, bro. Tony Romo got the pick 6 on Matt Castle, bro.
When he sees that Cowboy star,
yeah,
he's like turn up time. So
I came in here to win.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think he should play.
All right, Khaled, what do you think?
I think Tony Romo should play like what I was talking about. He needs that physical therapy, basically, that adjusting back to the game, trying to get used to it, because you don't want to sit him out for the rest of the season, and then in the over the summer, you doing the training camp or whatever, and then you come back during the preseason, and he's still not as clean as he should be. Mm-hmm. So definitely give him that the time back on the field to just adjust back after this injury, so he can be a little bit smoother going into the Super Bowl if they the playoffs or whatever. I said the Super Bowl. Whoa.
But I'm just saying, but from the opposition side of it, what they're thinking is, so what if they're just out of it, not even in the playoffs, like, because if they lose this week against the Buccaneers, and right now they're sitting last, they're last in the division because they're last to the Redskins, who sit at 3-5, the Eagles, who are 4-4, and the Giants, who are 5-4. So their remaining schedule, these are very winnable games. I mean, they play the Buccaneers, they play the Dolphins, but then you get into the rough parts. And I think Tony Romo will be back against the Panthers, right? I think he should be back against the Panthers or the Redskins, because the Redskins, they play the Redskins December 7th, and they play the Panthers November 26th. Yeah. So, and this weekend they got the Buccaneers, and then next weekend they have the Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins aren't,
they're not bad.
They're not bad. They're given week. Yeah, they're given weeks. They perform. Who knows what Dolphins team you're gonna get? Yeah. But if they can win both of these games, they'll be technically 4-6, and they will need the Redskins, Giants, and Eagles to pretty much at this point. The Cowboys just need help from everybody else that's playing their division rivals, because in order for the Cowboys to win the division, they need the Giants to just collapse. But nobody knows where the Giants was.
Giants do play.
The Cowboys are technically only 2.5 games back of the Giants. So, these are two winnable games. Twice. And the weird thing is, so far this season, the Cowboys haven't lost, apart from the New England Patriots, and that's the Patriots now. Apart from the Patriots, every game the Cowboys have played, you're like, they could have won that game.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you honestly say the Cowboys could have won that game. They're a play or two away. Like this, even this last game from this past week, if Matt Castle was having a great game, pick six.
Yeah, pick six killed us.
Yeah, the pick six just kills and this ruins the game. And they went to overtime. They went into overtime when they lost 33-27 in overtime. So it's like you just see how they're so close. And all these other teams are relatively healthy. Eagles got Sam Bradford, and DeMarco Murray. They got their weapons. The Giants. The main loss the Giants have. They do have some injuries in their secondary, but the main loss the Giants have is Victor Cruz, who on the offensive side of the ball. And now I think they lost one of their running backs. One of their running backs has been hurt. And then the Redskins are just the Redskins.
The Redskins.
The Redskins. They make themselves injured. They don't play their healthy players. RG3. But it's like the Cowboys are very in a great position to possibly win, but they have to win these next few games because they have also lost to teams that you say, oh, well, the Cowboys should have beat so-and-so. The Cowboys could have beat so-and-so. Like, I think of all the games the Cowboys have played, they should have beat the Saints earlier this season. They should have definitely beat the game against the Falcons. That lead they had. The Falcons are a good team, but it's the lead the Cowboys gave away that I'm like, you should have won that game. Nobody picked the Cowboys against the Patriots. The Giants game, they lost by a touchdown. It's like you're right there, and that's another divisional game. So you never know how division games are just weird. You never know how it's gonna go. The Seahawks beat them by 1 point.
We couldn't score points. That's
and that's against the Seahawks defense. And, that was a very underwhelming game. 12-13. Who wants to watch that?
Seahawks and Cowboys.
The Cowboys scored 12 points.
Like, how do you get 12 points?
It's not funny.
That's four field goals. Like, that means they got to the red zone and then just couldn't get in there. So I do think that I just feel like putting your quarterback. I can understand where you definitely want to keep Tony Romo getting in the rhythm of things when you bring him back. You want to keep him in the rhythm, but then you also do put him out there for that injury. And Tony Romo is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the game. There's no dispute about that. He's one of the toughest guys in the game. No matter what injury Tony Romo's gotten, he's always played. But he also is prone to getting hit. Like even last season, he played with an injury. He played with he had a fractured somewhere. I don't remember if it was his ribs or in the collarbone, but he still played, which shows his toughness. But then that also reveals to you that he can get hurt any given Sunday. I mean, granted, just like any other quarterback, like Ben Roethlisberger just came back from an injury, and that's Big Ben we're talking about, and then it goes out with a foot sprain. You know what I mean? He's hurt now with his foot. So you can see where people are concerned about with Tony Romo, because they're sitting there wondering, like, man, like if we're playing for nothing, why are we playing him? You know, we might as well just, at this point, you just kind of retreat back. Don't hurt Tony Romo to save him for next season. But I think what Jerry Jones' mindset is, he wants to show people, hey, with Tony Romo, this is what we are. Like, this is what we could have been this season. And I mean, I don't blame him for that, because you give Cowboys fans hope. But then if he gets hurt, who are they gonna put the finger at, Jerry? You and Jason Garrett. If he gets hurt,
but see, if he gets hurt, it's the end of the season anyway. I mean, he's gonna recover all season.
It's the end of the season.
We can't think of it as gonna be like a career-ending injury though.
No, but that's more rehab time.
It is. But I mean, he doesn't practice in the off season anyway. And the off season won't start for a couple months.
I don't know.
That's what I understand.
I don't know we're talking about. He doesn't practice at all during the off season.
He barely.
There's a lot of work these guys put in.
There is a lot of work.
Tony Romo's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You got to put in work to stay that good.
You're right.
He does. But when it comes to some of that time is going towards rehab. That's the reason why Kobe Bryant's been so distraught about his past off seasons, because he hasn't been able to focus on his game, and he's always been trying to rehab the whole time.
So put it in the aspect of an injury, right? Mm-hmm. Most injuries last 6 to 8 weeks, right? Yeah. About that time. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's say, when did he get hurt? Before the end of the season, right? Because you're assuming we're not making the playoffs, right?
Who?
Tony Romo. If he gets hurt again,
you're
assuming we're not making the playoffs.
Y'all have like 4 games or 3 games left.
So you think he's going to, like, okay, let's say he gets hurt the first game, he comes back, right?
If y'all not in the playoffs?
If we're not in the playoffs.
Okay.
So he misses 3 more games. Mm-hmm. He plays that one game, he gets hurt. He plays 1, 2, 3. That's 3 weeks. The rest of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. No team's really getting reps during that time because it's the postseason. Mm-hmm. Most teams just home watching or fishing. So
that's true.
It won't really hurt him as much as when after the Super Bowl.
And then after the offseason,
he's just gonna be out of shape.
But see, that's the only thing. We just don't know what happens in the locker. Like I can't say that team doesn't work during the postseason. Like I don't know if the minute Bill Belichick lost to the Broncos a few years ago, he was like, gosh darn it, Tom, we're going to the field. Get your cleats on. We're going to go to some throws. Like we just don't know that information. I do see what you're saying, because a lot of people do have the little going fishing thing, like the NBA, TNT. Whenever a team loses the playoffs, they have the fishing rod. They get the fishing rod and they put them with some random celebrity. That don't be having me weak. But
before you go on, his name was Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks,
he's a rookie from the 3rd round, devastating us.
Killing y'all.
He's our worst nightmare.
I told you that, man. If he's just a rookie, the stars like, I'm coming.
This man got like 10 more seasons, y'all of us.
Damn, Tony, hide your wife, hide your kids. Hide your wife, hide your kids. Jordan Hicks is coming. He's coming, y'all. But we're staying with the Cowboys. Going on to a more troubling issue is with Greg Hardy and the team's star pass rusher. And ever since the Cowboys signed Greg Hardy back in March, after he came off the commissioner's exempt list, and he was a free agent to be signed, nobody really wanted to touch him. The Cowboys signed him, brought him in, because everybody knew Jerry Jones was just that guy to be like, hey man, I just want to do I got to do to win. And Greg Hardy is one of the best pass rushers in the game. I mean, he's counted for most of the Cowboys sacks since he's came back. He had their lone sack last week against Philadelphia, but the problem is, since he's been back, it's been nothing but negative media, negative publicity, negative everything. Like since that first interview that he gave, since the second interview he gave, to the photos coming out of what happened with the incident with the woman, which is when the photos, because initially people were a little wishy-washy with him being signed, and they were like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. Then he gave that first interview, which he didn't address the whole domestic violence incident at all. He didn't address it, and as ESPN said, he showed no remorse for it, and he just kind of went on. And in that first interview, that's when he brought up the comments about Tom Brady and Tom Brady's wife. In the next interview, when they were asking him about his blow up on the sideline, that's when he had the no comment, next question snafu. And so then going on from that, like it's just been, and Jason Garrett's had to sit down with Greg Hardy 4 separate times to talk with him about, his conduct off the field and, on the field, as far as thing is as far as what happened with the special teams coordinator, the special teams coach, when he not the clipboard out the special teams coach hand and he's got up in his face. But recently, Greg Hardy, even on Twitter, he had an issue where he tweeted that he was innocent, and
I think he put that in his bio, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, he has it in his bio. I have it right here. Give me a second. He had tweeted that innocent until proven guilty. Hyphen lack of knowledge and information is just ignorance. Hyphen the unjust / prejudicial treatment of different categories of people is discrimination. He put that in his bio on Twitter, and then after meeting with Jason Garrett, he changed it. And in a statement Jason Garrett made about Greg Hardy, after what people were asking him about, do you think Greg is listening to what y'all have to say? Jason Garrett said, I think the biggest thing we try to do with any player is just address things when they come up, and we address them in-house. And we deal with things inside these walls, and then we move forward. And then after that, Greg Hardy changed his Twitter, because he had changed it to perfection when he put up that innocent claim that he had on Twitter. And then he changed his thing back to Machiavelli Kraken, which is his nickname in the NFL. It's called the Kraken. And he changed it to, and then this was like weeks ago, and he expressed regret. He never, directly addressed the domestic violence case, but this is what he had said. He had put on November 7th, weeks ago. He had said, and these quotes are from ESPN. He said, just had to say, I express my regret for what happened in the past, and I'm dedicated to being the best person and teammate that I can be. Those are weeks ago, but then recently, just a few days ago, when he had changed his Twitter to claiming he was innocent, it's like, wait, hold on a second. He took a step forward by expressing regret, and even though he never particularly said what he was expressing regret for, he did say he expressed regret for his past, but then claims innocence in like a few days later. So then Jason Garrett had to talk to him and address that. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Greg Hardy is becoming more trouble than he's worth? Because it seems like now at this point, Jason Garrett's had to sit down with him 4 separate times about 4 different occasions, 4 different situations. And it just seems like now he's just becoming a distraction rather than a addition, adding on to his team's greatness. He's becoming more of a distraction. So what do y'all think? And granted to you all, there's other players in the league that have expressed their displeasure with Greg Hardy playing, like the Eagles lineman Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. They've expressed their dislike for him playing. Recently, Jason Kelsey said, Lane Johnson has said, as quoted from the Philadelphia Daily News, he said, anytime I had a chance to put a little extra mustard on the block, I tried to. And he said regarding talking to Greg Hardy, he said he wasn't all that emotional in the game. I guess he's in the other games. I don't know if the stuff got to him on the news, but he kind of seemed out of it a little bit. And then Jason Kelsey said, I'm glad he didn't have a good day. To the Philadelphia newspaper, he said, it's a joke a guy like that is able to play this quickly. And then Jason Kelsey went on to say, there's 3 people I have zero respect for in this world: people who hit women, who molest children, and who are rapists. And Jerry Jones went on after their comments, to say, Greg has a commitment to us. He has a commitment to do the right thing. We expect him to do the right thing. And he said, and then Jason Garrett said, we decided we were giving him a second chance, but in doing so, the expectations and the standards we set would be very clear to him, and how he and really everybody else is supposed to conduct themselves on the football field and off the football field. So do y'all think at this point that Greg Hardy is becoming more of a liability than, than an asset? Carla, let me start off with you and what you think.
I think he is, because he said what Jerry Jones said, he was going to give him a second chance. Mm-hmm. Seems like this is like his 4th chance or something like that, because he's like constantly having to talk to him. And it's just Greg Hardy's always in the media every week, and it's always something negative. So in giving the Cowboys a negative outlook on their whole team and their organization, like, why would you draft the Eagles players were saying? It was like, why is he playing so quickly? Like, why is he on this team if he's causing so much trouble? Mm-hmm. Not to mention that he's just not being showing any remorse. Yeah, any remorse. And he's not showing proper conduct when he's on and off the field. I know you're a very great defensive player. You're one of the best pass rushers in the league, but you have to still act like, you're one, you got to have some kind of etiquette in outside the locker room. And you have to talk to the media when you have to. You can't be cutting them off saying no comment, next question, no comment, next question, being all rude with them. And then you can't be having posts like innocent until proven guilty. And then what was the other one? I think he had the Machiavelli put his bio back to the Machiavelli thing, but you can't be doing that when you know you're such a great player and it's such an asset to the team. Because one, they don't want to have to get rid of you, so that it means you can't be like you can't be doing these things and making the team look bad. You have to show yourself in a certain light, especially with the Cowboys, and so many people love the Cowboys. Yeah. This is what America's team or something. So they always looking at the Cowboys. And if you're the person that's just plaguing the Cowboys' whole image, you're kind of like, you have to learn how to do better for the whole team. Now, not for just yourself, because you may feel remorse or not about the thing, but make sure you think about the team as well.
All right, Rashad, what do you think about the Greg Hardy developments and what Khaled had to say?
We're going to go with Khaled said first.
Okay.
One, it ain't America's team or something. It's America's team. That's the first thing I had to address.
Now, it's America's team or something.
No, it's America's team. No, something. It is. Now, about this issue, I don't think what's more like, is it worth the trouble? I don't think he's. I think he's. You keep him on the team is what I'm trying to say. I mean, the reason Jason Garrett has to talk to him so much is because the media always puts Greg Hardy into it. Yes, what Greg Hardy did is wrong. Yes, I'm not supporting what he did. Nobody's supporting what he did, I'm sure. But there's a lot of troubling players in the league that's getting a second chance. Like let's Incognito. Is that his name?
Richie Incognito.
Yeah, he got a second chance. No one really brought that back up.
But I don't know if that's the example you want to use, because Richie Incognito's situation was more of a bullying thing, but then people in the locker room, in that Dolphins locker room, didn't feel as though he was bullying Jonathan Martin. So there were people that were split on sides. Racial
statements?
But
Riley Cooper's racial statements.
No, Riley Cooper's racial statements. There were people. The only people that really supported Riley Cooper were people on his team.
Yeah,
and Riley Cooper, he did get a second chance, but the problem is you haven't heard anything from him since. That's the difference.
See, that's because
you haven't heard anything about Richie Incognito since.
The media hasn't covered this though. Like this stuff, it puts it up. It sets it up for him to get in trouble. Like
no, but the thing is, there's nothing for
all the highlight is on Greg Hardy for anything he does now. Like just because he don't speak to the media, it's such a big deal. It's such a negativity in the locker room. Because his statements about, I mean, more than just him said something about Tom Brady. Like, of course, we know that. And for him to say guns blazing, it's just what he used, a choice of words. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's a metaphor. A lot of people use it, but because he used it because of what he did is a problem. Like I said, I'm still not supporting him, but I feel like it's unfair that everything he does now is looked at as negative because of what he did when. Like he hasn't done anything since. Yes, he got in trouble. Yes, his suspension got shortened, but he hasn't done anything since, other than what he's basically a Terrell Owens who has domestic violence hanging over him. That's basically what he.
That's a big thing hanging over you. That's a big thing hanging over you, though.
But there's also other huge things hanging over you too. Like I said, like racism that hangs over people too. That
it does.
It's
some of the people have expressed remorse. There's a difference. Riley Cooper apologized.
That's the whole problem with Greg Hardy.
And came before every black player in that locker room, including Michael Vick, who was one of the – and Michael Vick has a lot of standing in this league. And Michael Vick came out and spoke in favor of Riley Cooper. So Riley Cooper apologized to every black player in that locker room. Greg Hardy hasn't apologized to nobody. And even some people have even said that there are people on the team, the Cowboys team, who are just like, hey, he's here. We're gonna play with him, but we don't like Jason Witten he came from a household of domestic violence and it's been adamant. Jason Witten has many charities that support or to go against domestic violence and that fund for people that need help with domestic violence. So you can only assume how Jason Witten feels about this situation. And Jason Witten is never on the same side of the ball as Greg Hardy. And a lot of people, we know this being on the football team. There's so many people on the football team. You don't have to be cool with everybody on your football team. So, but you can also assume that there are many people on the Cowboys that are like, man, we don't really he can play, but we don't want him here. Because you can only imagine how many of those people go home to wives, children who like, yo, Greg Hardy's like, what's going on with this dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the only difference between like the people you name, like Terrell Owens, I mean, this man cried. That's my quarterback.
But it's
That's my
not
quarterback.
just crying. It's just he had a lot of infield and locker room issues.
Terrell Owens stuff was
but he
never
showed it
something
emotionally.
the only time Terrell Owens really had an issue was he kind of brought tension with the team. He separated the team, but he didn't separate the team on an issue that went beyond football. Terrell Owens, when he came and brought tension to a team at times, it was because, hey, Tony Romo, you're not giving me the ball enough. You know what I'm saying? Then Tony Romo's like, bro, I'm passing to everybody as I can. Like, I mean, everybody knows Jason Witten is Tony Romo's go-to guy. But then Terrell Owens comes in and says, hey, man, you need to get me the ball. That's a football issue. Greg Hardy's issue is domestic violence. That's off the field. That's an issue that goes way deeper than football. And then when you see the photos of what he did to that woman, that's disturbing, man. I know you're not defending it. You're not defending. I get what you're saying, but we also you're right. It's happening because it's Greg Hardy, but that's also some of the things that come because of what he did.
You're right.
That comes with what he did. If Greg Hardy never did what he did, guns blazing wouldn't mean nothing. If Tom Brady said we're gonna come out guns blazing, nobody would care.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying, as Greg Hardy, from what you did, you have to know that people are looking for that stuff, and the media. If Jason Garrett has talked to you 4 times,
but that's because the media. Because he's always in trouble with media, so he feels like he needs to talk to.
But he's done. No, this is not just the media.
It's just his actions.
But I'm saying, but the media comes with football. The media is in your contract.
The media is what's getting him in trouble. I understand because
he does something to get the media to say something to say something in reaction. He came out.
It does something. The media boosts up.
Yeah, exactly. The media is going to cover whatever you do wrong, and it's the media just puts on a bigger scope. But Greg Hardy's still the one that's doing these things. Whenever a teammate blows up on the sideline, other players are covered too. The only reason why it's Greg Hardy's because Greg Hardy is a player that can be cut like that because of what he did. The reason why other players aren't getting as much attention from what their blowups, like Ben Roethlisberger has been notably had issues with what's the chart something Hale the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who's your offensive coordinator? I can't remember his name. He used to be the head, like the coach of the Cardinals a while ago, or the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals. I can't remember, but it's been notable. It's been noted that Ben Roethlisberger and him don't get along on the sidelines. You see the arguments. Tom Brady's gotten into arguments with their offensive coordinator on the sideline, but it becomes nothing because you realize it's strictly football issues, and you realize Tom Brady's still a great guy on and off the field. You know that it's just probably something big football related. But when Greg Hardy does it, people are like, man, you technically shouldn't even be on a team. And you're still blowing up like this as if you have standing. But people are saying, like, Ray Rice can't get on a team. I mean, granted, the difference between Ray Rice and Greg Hardy is the fact that people think Ray Rice can't play no more. Greg Hardy can. So that's the difference. But that's the reason why Greg Hardy's on such a microscope, because when you do something like that, like you are in trouble like that, it's just the same thing with Johnny Manziel. With anything that comes with alcohol now, people are going to put Johnny Manziel on the same microscope. Same thing with Greg Hardy. Anything that you do negative now, you're going to be under a microscope.
Yeah, that's just I understand that. But okay, so I understand what you're saying. So you know how the pictures just came out, right?
Yeah.
You know how when we first talked about this, the very first time he came
back.
Todd
Haley, thank you.
Yeah.
When he came back in the very beginning, his very first game when he said the guns blazing statement. Yeah. And we was talking about, you were saying how he had no remorse, he never apologized or anything. So even if he apologized and these pictures just came out, it wouldn't have did nothing. The apology wouldn't have meant anything anymore.
I don't know.
So that's why. Well, so for him,
no, we can't say that because
that apology wouldn't. No,
not because Ray Rice's apology meant something, and people saw the video.
Yeah,
Ray Rice's apology.
But see, Ray Rice's apology mainly came out after the video was after TMZ submitted the video.
But Ray Rice's thing, Ray Rice didn't wait as long as Greg Hardy did. Ray Rice didn't let. Ray Rice was mainly mute. He was mute until the TMZ video came out, and that's when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah,
he apologized. He did
because everybody saw the video.
But he did express apologies to his fiance.
Yeah,
he expressed, and that's the number one person he needed to apologize to because she's the one he did the transgression against.
Yeah,
but Greg Hardy hasn't been noticed to apologizing to anybody.
Greg Hardy, how can we sit here and say, how do we know if he apologized to his fiance or not?
Because Greg Hardy, because they're broken off now.
I know, but how do we know that he didn't say anything to her?
Because pretty much the girl has disappeared since everybody's assuming since he paid her off. Because the girl technically has disappeared. And there have been even when people try to interview her, she just doesn't want to talk about the whole thing. She just disappeared.
She released pictures.
She's very
no, she's not the one that released the pictures. It was an NFL investigator who released the pictures to Deadspin. And the Deadspin, put it out there for everybody else to see. So they're the ones that released the picture. I forgot the woman's name, but she's the one that released them.
Okay.
But
so like
I think the apology would have given him the pictures would have came out. People have been like, "Damn, that's what you did." But
and that apology still wouldn't have been
but we can't say the apology wouldn't have mattered because when Ray Rice apologized, even after his video, the only thing that the only issue with Greg Hardy is he's waited so long. He still hasn't technically apologized for that incident directly. He still hasn't apologized.
But I mean, he said he regrets.
He said he regrets the things he wasn't getting better.
He said he hasn't been specific about it. He never alluded to the domestic violence. Ray Rice,
we can assume that he's talking about that.
But then you come out and you tweet you're innocent. You nullified everything you just tweeted in your regret thing by coming out and saying you're innocent. Everybody's ignorant for pictures that we have visible evidence of. He's pretty much going off the fact that because he wasn't convicted, he's innocent. And granted, he technically in the court of law, he is innocent because he was never convicted. But he was found guilty in a bench trial. But then he appealed the trial, took it to another court, and then the girl disappeared. Where people are saying that pretty much they had a settlement out of court where he paid her off initially, and the girl disappeared. And then he appealed the court for the whole incident to be wiped off his record. So right now it got expunged off his record. So it's the whole thing pretty much never happened. It's just an incident. The girl's however much dollars richer. Greg Hardy has nothing on his record.
But there's no proof that he paid her off.
Come on, she just dropped charges like that,
make assumptions.
No, but the investigator said that she technically got paid off because they had an out of court settlement. I mean, I can bring up a lot of people that out of court settlement. Everybody, the investigators find out they initially technically got paid off when you follow the money trail. Like, I'm not gonna throw shade on my man's. But, I was contemplating bringing up a name, but I'm not gonna throw shade on my man's.
But see, like, I still feel like no matter what happened. No matter what happens, even now, even if he apologizes tomorrow, today, anytime, I think it's not going to change anything. He's still going to be the same person who gets frustrated in the game when they're losing. He's still going to be the person that doesn't want to speak because he just there's times like that. He's still going to be the same Greg Hardy that just said, "I'm sorry."
No,
I think the media is still going to take it as he still shouldn't be in the league. Other players are still going to take it. He shouldn't be in the league. Yeah, everybody's going to take it. He still shouldn't. But he's in the league.
But here's the difference is the only reason why the other players are cool with everybody else being in the league because they showed remorse right after. Adrian Peterson, after he did the thing with his child, and people were split on that. People were still. Here's the thing: there's no split with this Greg Hardy thing. There's no split with the Ray Rice thing. There's no side that's like, oh well, that's not domestic violence. Blah blah. Adrian Peterson's thing. There are people like, oh well, I got beat like that when I was a kid.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So he apologized so he can get back to the league faster.
No, but
he understands that the way media in the league and the world views it now, that's negative. But to him, that's probably like
who's talking about Adrian Peterson?
Adrian Peterson. But I'm like, I just whooped my child for a punishment.
No, but that's how you have to learn. You have to adjust.
You have to adjust to. That's why he apologized because it's for the world to understand. He's probably not apologizing to himself like, oh, I shouldn't have done it.
You don't think he got to adjust? No, but he
understands
that. He even came out in his statement and said, I merely was trying to discipline my child.
Yeah.
But he now understands there's a level to where you can't pass. So he apologized. He expressed remorse to his own child.
Yeah.
Because his child got taken away from him. So he went and apologized to his kid and to the people, to people of Minnesota saying, I realized what I did was wrong. I shouldn't take it to that extent. He did apologize for the extent that he beat his child. He's not apologizing for the fact he disciplined his child. There's nothing wrong with him. Nobody's saying that disciplining your child is wrong. It's to the extent that Adrian Peterson took it. So he apologized to the extent. Greg Hardy hasn't apologized for. I mean, you should never put your hands on a woman.
Nope.
You're right.
You should never put your hands on a woman. So there's no extent with Greg Hardy's saying. Adrian Peterson's thing, there was side that were like, hey, AP, we see where you're coming from. There was side saying that's just child abuse. And so you had half of America split. Greg Hardy, everybody's unified saying, bro, you're a bad dude. That's
just apologize.
And the way yeah, exactly. They're just like apologize for something. He hasn't showed any remorse for anything, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Since he's been back, he hasn't expressed regret for the past, bro. I express regret for the past. I mean, I'm saying anybody can say I express regret for the past. And that's such a general thing. Like what people want him to do is specifically say I express regret for my domestic violence thing. There's a big difference. Everybody can say you express regret for the past, but I can't say I express regret for domestic violence. I've never done it.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy's done it. Anybody in the whole NFL can say I express regret for the past. People want him to talk about the domestic violence thing, and actually atone for what he did, and actually say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did to the girl. I apologize. I should have never put my hands on her. He's never even said I shouldn't have put my hands on her. And that tweet that he said, I'll reread it for you. He never even said, I apologize for putting my hands. I shouldn't have put my hands on her or nothing like that. This is what he said. Just had to say, I express my regret for what happened in the past, and I'm dedicated to being the best person and teammate that I can be. He just said he's expressing regret for the past.
That's what
He could be talking about the going off against the.
Come on, Brendan. Honestly, Brendan, I understand. I understand how the world is viewing it, but Brendan, do you really think he's not talking about that? Brendan, I'm saying
he said, but the thing is, he said it after the pictures came out, and then
I know.
But then he had a platform. This is different than Ray Rice have you. Ray Rice wasn't on the team. Ray Rice got cut immediately, and then had a press conference where he apologized. That Greg Hardy had a chance to do it right when the very first interview when they asked him about it. He just chose not to. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why people are like, oh, now you want to do it because now that everybody sees how bad it was, you want to do it. This is different from Ray Rice because the fact Ray Rice didn't have the platform until that initial press conference. So we can't full on compare this to Ray. The only thing we can compare this with Ray Rice is the fact that it's domestic violence. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that's similar. But other than that, and then he came back and retracted his statement by saying he was innocent until proven guilty. So like it makes the apology like wish-wash. That pretty much makes your regret statement, which you didn't directly address it, wish-wash. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. It does. I mean, that's stupid on his part, but for the fact that we still, but see, the way you're saying it, Megan, is contradicting what he said before, which is supporting the case that you understand what he was saying when you say I'm saying, but you understand they say innocent and proven. You're like, why would you say that when you just say what you just said? No, I'm saying you can understand why, but I'm saying where everybody else is coming from, where they're calling for his job. Oh no, thank you. But where everybody's coming from, where they're calling for his job is the fact that they're like, he didn't express regret. And so after the photos came out, well, he had multiple interviews to do it.
You're right.
He had multiple interviews to do it. And then it's like he backtracked on his expression for regret. So now pretty much everybody's acting like he didn't express regret because then he backtracked on it. So, everybody's saying that, people are initially even saying that he didn't express regret directly for domestic violence, but people gave him the benefit of the doubt. They gave him the benefit of the doubt until he tweeted again, I'm innocent.
When you say something like that, that means like you don't feel bad for yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel like it wasn't your fault.
But honestly, guys, this is like anybody can debate this. You know what I mean? Like whether he's more trouble than he's worth. I mean, he's an excellent player. Mm-hmm. He's already proven his impact on the Dallas Cowboys.
So, before we go on, so back to the Cowboys situation. So like, if you release him, what good does that do you for the Cowboys?
No,
other than you just media attention.
That's the thing. I don't. Like, when it comes to releasing him, I don't.
Do you think he's interfering with the play with the players? Like interfering with, like Jason Wynn's productivity or Des Bryant's productivity? Do you think?
I mean, they haven't won. I don't know, bro. I'm not saying it's all because of him, but I'm just saying they haven't won, bro. I don't know. He's been there for 4 of the losses, so I can't say it's because of him they're losing. I'm not gonna say it's because of him they're losing because he's gotten sacks. He's done what he's supposed to do.
Which we didn't have any.
But the problem is there have been players cut before because of their media issues. I know, but people are saying that everybody pretty much is unisonically like, bruh, Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones, how many times is it gonna take? You know what I'm saying? T.O. couldn't get on the team at the end of his career. Great receiver. But T.O. never. The last resume they had from T.O., he outperformed Chad Ochocinco in Cincinnati. But the problem with T.O. was people are just like, yo, you're team obliterator. That's what it was. But he's still his last year in Cincinnati, he still balled.
But see, you said he's a team.
Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Greg Hardy that? Is he a locker room? Is there trouble in the locker room with the players?
We don't know that.
The media.
Well, there's a reason why Aldon Smith got released. Aldon Smith could still produce. He got released from the 49ers.
Aldon Smith had problems in the locker room as well.
No, and Greg Hardy does too.
Not really. No, I'm saying he doesn't have problems with players. Aldon Smith did.
But you saw. But I'm saying we can't say he doesn't have problems with players when we saw what he did on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? We have things to go off of. We don't know what we never saw what Aldon Smith had issues with. But I'm saying how can you say Aldon Smith had issues with the players, but then we can't say Greg Hardy doesn't when we saw that on the sideline? You get what I'm saying? Like we saw what Greg Hardy did on the sideline, and Des Bryant, he pushed Des Bryant, everybody away from him, pretty much just told everybody, and he got in the special teams coach. That's going to cause issues.
Yes,
we can't just say Aldon Smith had issues with people, and we never saw it. But Aldon Smith had off the field issues, and then got released, but was still a player that could produce. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. That's why everybody's like, yo, so you're cutting Aldon Smith for this stuff. You're cutting other players that can still produce, but Greg Hardy's still getting that chance. They're like, yo, Jerry, like, at what point are you like, yo, where are your moral lines at? You know what I'm saying? But Jerry's like, at the end of the day, I just want to win. And you can't blame a man that wants to win, especially when the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since 1996, I think. That's a long time, y'all. I was born 2 years before that. That's a long time. But that, you know, and it's since the Jimmy Johnson days. Sheesh. That's a minute, man. That's a minute. But yeah, so it's like you can either go one way or the other with it. You know, you never he's producing, but it's like at what point do you make your team are you scapegoating your team to keep him on there for his production? But going on to the next time, we're gonna go on to the association now, the basketball association.
The association.
Well, we're gonna talk about my team. Oh my.
Oh Lord.
Me and Rashad's team, actually, the Lakers. What's wrong with the Lakers, man? What's going on? Like, starting out the season 1-7. Only other team was against the Brooklyn Nets, who also didn't win a game. You know what I mean? Like, the Lakers are looking terrible. They just look awful. The Lakers can't guard their own shadow. That's just the truth. They can't guard their own shadow.
They don't know what defense is.
You know what I mean? They can't keep a piece of bread in front of them if you buttered it up. They just can't keep nothing in front of them. So, you guys, give me your reasons or why what is wrong with the Lakers. Rashad, we'll start with you. What is going on with the team? You know, we're last in the Pacific Division. What's going on?
The squad.
Yeah. The squad, man.
Oh, we last in the conference, bro. Not just the Pacific Division. We last in the conference,
we suck.
But I can't say we suck.
We suck.
Because we can't say the Pelicans suck, and they're 1-7 as well.
But they have nobody but Anthony Davis.
That's not true, because actually they're playing better without him right now. They just still can't win. The Lakers is now, we're not an old team anymore. We're a young team. And you have players that needs to, other than Lou Williams, who's playing excellent right now, actually for us. It's like the old person who's consistent with at least 10 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we have Kobe, who isn't shooting well right now. I expect that to get better during the season. We have inconsistent young players, which happens. They're young, they're rookies. Is basically Randall's rookie season as well, basically, because he didn't play. So I mean, you have young players that we're expecting too much out of them this early in the season. Because I don't think the season's over. We're only 3 games behind from the 8th spot. The West isn't looking that good right now. The only team looking great is the Warriors. The 8th, the 5th through 8th,
Clippers are
5-3. And they're what position are they? I think they're like
second in our division.
Okay, the Western Conference, it's 9-0, 6-2, 5-3, 5-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-4, 4-4. We're 1-7. We're only 3 games behind.
The Eastern Conference isn't looking too pretty either.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's basically the same thing for them too. Right now, both conferences are weak. Every team is losing except the Warriors. So I can't count the Lakers out. I feel like it's gonna take a little bit of time. Kind of how the Pelicans, you know, came on late for a nice run to get the 8th spot. I feel like it's gonna be kind of the same way. But if the other teams continue to struggle like they're doing now, which clearly says every team is competitive this year, because any team, well, except the Pelicans, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Lakers, but every other team is competitive and they can win games. Meaning, the Western Conference basically is up for grabs for those bottom spots, which the Lakers can potentially grab. So I don't think the season's in trouble. What we need to improve on is get consistency from our young players, get Kobe Bryant shooting better. Stop taking those 3-point shots, because that's not what he is for. Get back into the post. Fadeaway shots are forever. It don't matter how old you are. You can still hit a turnaround fadeaway, which you've been doing all your career. Speed doesn't have to really affect that. So when you work on that, because look at like when Roy Herbert's a leading scorer for the game, that's not good. Because Roy Herbert is Roy Herbert. So
just came from him.
So
right, Roy Hibbert's Roy Hibbert.
He's Roy Hibbert.
Sheesh.
I'd rather have Randall scoring more points. But see, that's what happens. Russell will score more points one game, then Randall will score more points, then Kobe will score more points, then Roy Hibbert score more points.
Yeah.
So it's just getting everybody consistent with each other, which will come throughout the season. It's still early in the season. It's only 8 games in. We're good.
All right.
I have faith.
Khalid, what do you think is wrong with the Lakers?
The Lakers are all over the place. They're young players, like Rashad said, they're not consistent. They're not getting it together. They need to adjust to the game, because I mean, 8 games in, still you should at least be a little bit adjusted. You should at least know when to help on the defense. But they're just completely lost. Like one play I saw, Kobe put up a shot. That man stood there and waited till the ball hit the basket, And then the opposing team got the ball and ran down the field, and that man was still standing there, ran down the court. That man was just standing there looking. So definitely got to catch up in transition. I think that's one of their main problems. They're not adjusting in transition, trying to get back onto the other side of the field. I keep saying field, to the other side of the court as quickly as they can. And it's just, and Kobe, he needs to produce a little bit better. My man's going for 3 points like he like Ray Allen or Steph Curry, but he can't be hitting them 3 points like that. So, and he knows he's hurt. Well, he's been hurt and he's older, so he needs to slow down a little bit and go for them easier baskets, I think. And he needs to play up on his defense. I know he's older and he's injured, whatever, but he still needs to catch up. Not catch up, but stay with the speed of the game, or at least try his hardest to.
We suck.
Come on, suck.
No,
we suck. That's honestly the cold hard truth of it. The Lakers, we can score points. We're ranked 15th in points. We average 101 points, 0.6 points a game, but we can't guard tissue paper. Like, so like legit, and like points per game on defense.
Ranked 29th.
We were at points per game. We're ranked 27th. Oh. Defensive efficiency, we're ranked 28th. We suck. We're terrible. We can't. I don't. Even playing in the rec center. I mean, granted, this is the NBA, so there's a lot high level, way higher talented players. But even basic basketball mechanics teach you where you need to be on defense, where you need to help on defense, how you rotate on defense. Simple pick and roll stumps the Lakers. You want to beat the Lakers? Run pick and roll 45 times in a game. That's how you do it, because we can't guard the pick and roll. You want I just don't understand why it's so hard for anyone. Like, I saw like that play you talked about. This man Kobe Bryant shot the ball, shot a mid-range fadeaway shot. Not a mid-range fadeaway shot. Held his arm like this. You ever watch Love and Basketball where she made the girl stand like that the whole practice? That was Kobe. He held the shot like that. Joe Johnson ran right past him. Kobe was like this. Kobe, you don't need to look at a brick that long, my friend. It breaks off really quick. So then Joe Johnson runs right past him. Who's Kobe's man? The only person back is D'Angelo Russell. Bro, get back on defense. Around. Like, this man Kobe.
Frustrated.
Come on. No.
So,
you will be frustrated.
I've done it plenty of times.
No,
I shot. Like,
Rashad, you're not a professional player. You're not Kobe Bryant. No, you're not Kobe Bryant. There's a standard you have to hold.
Shoot the ball. Watch it, man.
You get frustrated, but you don't.
He's a professional.
He held it. Everybody.
I'd be like,
come on.
No, come on. And I just like
he held it and watched it miss, and then watched Joe Johnson run right past him. And I've seen times when this is the simplest thing. Like, you honestly, you want to know how you score on Kobe Bryant? Go stand in the corner and run baseline, because you'll always be open. Because Kobe just stands there and just like, oh, that's my guy, that's my man. And you're either gonna be shooting 2 free throws because Julius Randle or Roy Hibbert are gonna foul you, or when they help, the person who's attacking the basket gonna dish the ball off, and then nobody helps Julius Randle or Roy Hibbert. So
they don't step up.
Yeah, exactly. Our defense is just terrible. Our defense is awful. On offense, we lead the league in some of the most isolation plays. And Lord knows we can't score in isolation. Kobe, you're not as quick as you used to be. I'm not trying to come for Kobe Bryant here, but I'm just saying that, telling it how it is. Kobe's my favorite player of all time. I'm just telling it how it is. Kobe, in isolation, hey man, look, I love you. Stop shooting threes. Look at this. You've never been efficient. You're shooting almost below 30% right now. Come on, bro. That's not good. You're not Steph. Well, we all wish we could be Steph. I wish I could be Steph. I'm gonna be Steph next time I play basketball. I'm gonna shoot all Steph Curry threes. But in the NBA game, you got to know we laud Kobe Bryant so much for his footwork and how great he is in the post and how efficient he is in the post. Get in the post. Get in the post. Now, granted, he's going up against small forwards who are bigger, more athletic, and faster than he is at this point in his career. But I mean, footwork is still gonna be there. You used to score. I mean, you're older now, so your legs don't give you as much kick as they do on your jump shots. But one of the reasons why Kobe Bryant's always been regarded so great amongst everybody is his basketball mind and how he's learned the game and all the different aspects he's learned to enhance and hone his game. And I'm not saying that this is just alone on Kobe Bryant. This is not just alone on Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant's the leader of that team, which is why I started off with him. Now for everybody else. Byron Scott, head coach of the Lakers. Utter dookie. Man, I don't know what, like, this is an emotional subject, guys. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Express yourself.
I am sorry for any kind of unprofessionalism I'm experiencing, but I don't care. The Byron Scott, you need it. You know what? Get your team to learn how to play defense. You always talk about you're going to bench somebody when they don't play defense. How about you start benching people for this? Bench the whole team. Just forfeit. Just forfeit a game. Who cares? We're not going to make the playoffs anyways. Just forfeit. We suck. You can't guard. We literally, our shadows could be in front of us, and the shadow's going to run right past us and go to the basket. That's how bad we are. This man, Byron Scott, sits the number 2 pick in the draft in every fourth quarter. This man ain't Kevin Love, bro. We got to develop our players. You sit D'Angelo Russell every fourth quarter for Lou Williams, who's a player who, granted, is a former sixth man of the year, ain't the number 2 pick. You're trying to develop your players, and you sitting D'Angelo Russell isn't going to help him develop. You're just sitting him is going to hurt his confidence. Now, there are plenty of players that when they got drafted, got put out there right away. Hey, go do something. Mm-hmm. And, either they fell or they crashed or they burned. But you learn from those experiences. If you keep sitting D'Angelo Russell in the fourth quarter, I mean, what's he going to learn? That he can't be dependent on the fourth quarter? I mean, yes, D'Angelo Russell has to improve on defense, but the whole team has to improve on defense. This man, Nick Young, I honestly...
Please don't stop.
I honestly watched a possession, guys. I will demonstrate for you. Now, the chair is the defender. I'm Nick Young. Actually, no. The chair is the player. I'm Nick Young. That's how easy it is to get past this man, Nick Young. Like, it doesn't even take more than one dribble move, and the man's just lost. So that's why Byron Scott said if Nick Young isn't going to play, he called out Nick Young specifically and said if Nick Young isn't going to play defense, he's going to sit on the bench. Well, Byron, it doesn't seem to be working because he still ain't playing it. So from where the Lakers' issues stem from, I don't know if it's just honestly coaching issues. I don't know. I honestly, we're just not a good team. That's all it is. I mean, you would think that we bring in some names. We bring in Brandon Bass, Roy Hibbert. We bring in Meta World Peace. We bring in Lou Williams. We bring in all these guys. And you're thinking, I mean, everybody saw the Lakers, and then people were saying the Lakers should make the playoffs. And we're like, or some people, actual people were like, come on, man. Come on. We suck. You know what I'm saying? You can't rely on a 37-year-old Kobe Bryant to do what he did when he was 30. You can't rely on 37-year-old Kobe Bryant to carry a team like he did when he was 27. It's just not going to happen. And at this point, like, you need to either, like, even Kobe said he needs to take a step back so that young players can actually blossom. But D'Angelo Russell so far is playing 25 minutes a game. He's averaging 9 points and 2 assists and 3 rebounds. And he's shooting 39% from the floor, 40% practically. Kobe Bryant, he's playing 29 minutes. He's shooting 32% from the floor, 32%.
Kobe Bryant, 32.
He's averaging 16 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. And Kobe's shooting 20% from 3-point range. And he's attempting 8 threes a game. Guys, that almost mirrors Steph Curry's 3-point output. That's beyond me. And a lot of these threes aren't good shot selection. They're not like Kobe's open, he's gonna kick the ball. I mean, granted, Kobe's never been the one for being a set shooter, but it's just a lot of issues with the team. And honestly, you're starting to wonder if it's Byron Scott. I mean, he hasn't really adapted with the times. I mean, he's still always been that he's one of the old mantra coaches. He came from that old the era, the Michael Jordan and them era when the Lakers won their past championships. Like, Byron Scott came from under the Phil Jackson regime, but he hasn't adapted with the times like other coaches have. And you're starting to see it reflect on the team. I mean, the Lakers' number one issue is defense, but also you have to also because at this point, it's not Kobe. You're not moving for the future around Kobe Bryant. You're moving for the future around D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson. So play those players. Don't sit D'Angelo Russell in the fourth quarter. What's that going to teach him? That he can't defend in the fourth. Teach him how to play defense and give him a shot. Make him have to play defense. In a Western Conference full of Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Tony Parker. You're not going to be able to Mike Conley. You're not going to be able to slack off. And Chris Paul. My fault. Disrespect Chris. But you're not going to be able to slack off on defense in that Western Conference night in and night out. You're going to get torched. Two of those great point guards are in their division, Chris Paul and Steph Curry. So you can't slack off night in and night out on the defensive end of the ball. Like the Lakers, you got to get it first and foremost. You got to get it together on defense. Offense ain't everything. And granted, you're not even like exceptional at offense either. So, granted, you want to score a lot of points to beat the other team, but you kind of have to make them score less than you to win. So, let's kind of the Lakers got to kind of get their act together. But going on from that tirade of the Los Angeles Lakers and that mess we are, we're gonna go back to the NFL and talk about Andrew Luck, who now is going to be out for estimate 2 to 6 weeks, even though the most recent report was a month, because he has a lacerated kidney. Like that just sounds gruesome. And he has a partial tear in his abdominal muscle. So it's like, man, like, sheesh, the coach just got you back, bro, and you're ready about to be out. And even one of the doctors, Dr. Lewis Jacobson, as quoted from CBS Sports, he said most commonly they see these kind of injuries in car accidents or car crashes or motor vehicle accidents, and that they're not very common. They're very rare. So that just shows Andrew Luck got smacked pretty much by Danny Trevathan and Vance Walker against the Broncos in the fourth quarter. It was on a scrambling play of where Andrew Luck scrambled out the pocket and he got smacked. He got like sandwiched, and he finished the game actually. Adrenaline holds you down. And he finished the game and wished the Colts beat the Broncos. But where do y'all think this leaves the Colts now? Because it seems like right when they're starting to pick up wind, Andrew Luck goes out again, and he could be out for almost the rest of the season, almost for 2 to 6 weeks. And it's one of those things you don't want to rush him back because with these injuries, you never know how to lacerate a kidney. Like that just sounds ugly, and a partially torn abdominal muscle. So starting off with Rashad, where do you think that this injury is going to leave the Colts, and how will they respond to the injury after they built up so much momentum, or they built up the big momentum with the big win against the Broncos?
Stats show this season that Matt Hasselbeck is 2-0. That's what it shows this season.
It does.
And what does it show for Andrew Luck?
Well, let's see. There's been 9 games.
He's 1 for
5.
1 for
5, 1 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4 and 5.
They're 4 and 5.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, he's 2 for 5.
Well, he won a game early in the season,
Yeah,
and then he won the one just now. And then you have Matt Hasselbeck, who's 2-0. I'm just saying.
Did Matt Hasselbeck win every game?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Hey, remember, we already had this talk when Rudy was on the show. How I felt about Andrew Luck playing, how I felt about Matt Hasselbeck playing.
Nah, Rudy came at the whole.
Now speaking of Rudy off the show, he said Matt Hasselbeck can't hold up and win these games, and I'm like, don't. You jump to conclusions.
Well, which games did he win? Was it against the?
Matt Hasselbeck won against who did he win? I think
Texans and the Jaguars.
He won against the Jaguars
and the Titans.
And who was it?
These are divisional games here, my friends.
They are. It doesn't matter. Matt Hasselbeck is the future for them. Even though he's at the end of his career, he's the future. He's the future.
Man said the future.
Collie, please go.
He's the future. Hey, he's 40. He's old. He's old.
He barely has a future.
He's old. But before you go, I think honestly their chances of making the playoffs is better with Matt Hasselbeck in, and then Andrew Luck returning in the postseason.
I do think that Matt Hasselbeck definitely is better performing better than Andrew Luck. Where they stand in the division, for real, I feel like it can go either way, because with the Texans is 1 game behind. So if the Colts lose their game this week, and the Texans win, they'll be ahead. So I do think that it can either swing either way. Matt Hasselbeck is winning games for them, but he's only been in 2 games, and
it's 2-0.
Andrew Luck is projected to be out really 2 to 6 weeks. So with him out and Matt Hasselbeck continuously playing each week, how is his performance gonna be every game? No, 2 games. That's back-to-back games. That's not that bad. No, you got your first.
He's a winner. I'm just saying.
He's a backup.
He's a winner.
He's a backup for a reason.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing because that means my Jacksonville Jaguars is gonna make that rise to the playoff spot. Like I told y'all before the season started, before we even came on the show.
Okay, you see, 2 to 6 games. This man has to play for almost the rest of the season, basically the rest of the season. So 2 games, he can win 2 games. I mean, but 3 games, 4 games, 5 games.
Hey,
40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck, you think he got the energy to keep on winning like that?
Hey, if that's how you feel, I'm supporting you then because my Jaguars. So
okay, no, let's not talk about the Jaguars.
You just made the case for Matt Hasselbeck.
I know, but if y'all want to sit there and say you're not gonna do well, then it don't bother me. I'm supporting Matt Hasselbeck though. I think he's gonna win.
You forget the Jaguars are 2-6.
Exactly. Well, they'll do what game and a half behind. I'm just saying. Our offense is clicking now.
Okay, so this is the Colts' upcoming schedule. They play the Falcons this upcoming. They play the Falcons next week.
It's suspect now.
Yeah, then they play the Buccaneers.
Suspect.
They play the Steelers.
Suspect.
That's Jaguars.
Great win. Right
Texans. Dolphins
suspect.
And the Titans. So
Matt Hasselbeck has a good chance of winning plenty of these games, except the Jaguars. That's all I'm saying.
You think you'll beat the Falcons, Pittsburgh?
Yes.
And a divisional game against the Texans?
Y'all have no Ben Roethlisberger. Y'all have no Le'Veon
Bro,
Bell.
that's in what, 4 weeks?
Y'all bring it back. He's not coming back. I don't think he's coming back in time.
A foot sprain.
You
don't think he's coming back?
He's on a foot sprain? Is it a serious foot sprain? And he out for like 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah. He is.
So yeah,
I mean it's still that defense though.
And then the Falcons we seen.
Oh my god!
But they were Matt Hasselbeck gonna win the rest of those games.
Matt Hasselbeck has a good chance to win those games. Hilarious.
This is hilarious.
I'm just saying.
Brendan, you all up in my.
I'm just saying.
I'm so sorry.
I said the only loss they might have. They might lose 2 of those games. One's gonna be to the Jaguars.
But if they lose 2 games, and especially if it's gonna be one against the Texans gonna take the division.
No, they're not, because the Texans gonna keep losing. And the Jaguars won't come up. Stop counting out the Jaguars. Stop it. If it's not gonna be the Colts with Matt Hasselbeck, it's gonna be the Jaguars
or the
with Blake
Texans.
Bortles.
It's not gonna be anybody.
He's not accepting it.
He's not.
Guys, as much as I would love to talk about the Jaguars, the Colts, the Texans.
Oh my god!
As much as I would love to talk about these,
he just sucks.
And we can't even name. I want it to be a trivia quick game right here. Name 5 players from the Texans. Name 5 players from the Jaguars. Name 5 players from the Colts that aren't named Andrew Luck and what's it called?
Frank Gore.
T.Y. Hilton. That aren't named Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton.
So you basically just calling that whole division doo-doo.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
Can anybody name 5 Titans players?
Nope.
Apart from Titans fans?
Nope.
Exactly. I just said apart from Titans fans. Anybody just off random recollection, can they name 5 players?
For the Titans?
Yeah.
Delaney Walker. Marcus Mariota. What's the Medberger?
Nope.
You just need the backup quarterback. You just need the back. That just shows how depth, how they have no depth. He just had to name
the starting quarterback and the backup quarterback.
Yeah, he had to name the starting quarterback from last year, the doo-doo Mettenberger, Zach Mettenberger. He had to name him before he named another skill player.
I'm trying to think of the skill. The skill players on the tip of my
tongue. Huh? I bet you if I told you name Patriots ones, you would have had at least 4 by now. If I didn't tell you name 4 Patriots players, it would have been 4 right now. You probably would have listed Ryan Garoppolo like 5th or something like that. You probably would have had him 5th. Oh my gosh, that just shows how bad that division is. Like,
it's sad.
I mean, I don't care about the rest. The only person I care about.
No, exactly. Nobody cares about the division. Nobody cares. No, that division is irrelevant.
The sad thing
is the outskirts of the world. That division is the final destination of divisions. That division, you only when broadcasters get that division, like, ah, damn. Like, when they get that division for a game, like, I know they'd be so blown. You just hear them.
Like, we're covering the Jaguars.
Blake Bortles touchdown for 20 for what's it called? For 2 yards on a quarterback scramble. Go Jags! Like that Jaguars so sad.
So, right, it's so sad because one of them is gonna go to the playoffs with a losing record.
How you know that was losing record now? Don't disrespect Jaguars.
He said, "How do you know they're gonna have a losing record?" Wait, what?
I said he started that finish 8-8.
Hey, please don't tell me you stand by that.
Oh, no.
Change your face. Change your face. No,
chill.
You're not standing by
chill.
that. You're not standing by
I
that.
said
Right?
the least they
Bro, I'm
7-9.
crying.
No,
At the
you
least-
said at least
You said
8-8.
I said 8-8. And then I said, but when I said this, I said they're gonna go 8-8.
They're gonna finish
But the
7-9.
least-
They gonna finish
No.
500.
They're going 8-8. But the least they will finish.
They're gonna finish
if they don't
8-8,
finish
Rashad.
it'd be 7-9.
Yo.
We're good. So let's go. I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
8-8. 8-8. The Jaguars.
Never have I heard something so funny.
8-8. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
8-8, 7-9.
Oh,
Wow.
7-9.
Woo! Guys. Wow. This show.
Chill.
Wow. You never know what you're going to hear.
7-9.
You never know what you're going to hear.
8-8.
7-9.
8-8.
8-9.
Snap.
Wow. The Jacksonville Jaguars. 8-8. Whoa.
Stop saying it.
As we see,
My side hurts.
but as we saw every game the Jaguars played except one, they lost by a touchdown.
Problem is they're healthy. They ain't the Cowboys, my friend. They're healthy. They ain't the Cowboys.
They
Don't give them the Don't give them the Cowboys excuse. The Cowboys don't got. Cowboys didn't have Des Bryant. They didn't have Tony Romo. They got Des Bryant for like
That's
1 or 2
6
games.
points plus the conversion,
my
7
God.
points.
Every game but one
Come on.
touchdown.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not like we can blood out. It's
No,
not like the
it's not.
Jaguars are bad. We just can't finish the game.
Did you- Man said
This man
8-8.
said 8-8. That is the highlight of my day. I will tell my girlfriend about this. I'm gonna tell my mother about it. I'm gonna call my mom. I'm gonna call my brothers. I'm gonna call my dad and tell them, you know what Rashad said on the show today. They're gonna
Bro,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
tell
What
Rudy.
is y'all current record? What is the Jacksonville Jaguars current?
2-6.
2-6.
You telling me they gonna win 6
5 of
games?
those games lost by a touchdown.
You telling me they gonna win 6
5 of those
games and
games
lose
lost by
only
touchdown.
2?
5 of those games lost by a touchdown. All they had to do is pick up.
Wow. Wow. So y'all 2-6 right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars will finish 8-8.
8-8 or 7-9. One of the two.
I will buy you an insomnia cookie pie if you are right.
And what if I'm
Let's
not
shake
right?
on it.
What if I'm not right?
If you're not right, you can just give me 3 cookies.
No.
Shake it.
So no.
You
You're
got make me a
confident.
team.
No, you're confident.
I'm giving you a cookie pie.
A
I'm
cookie
giving you a
pie.
cookie
A
pie.
cookie pie is cheaper. How much a cookie pie?
Cookie pie is like $20.
I can buy you 3 cookies.
That's a whole
3
pie.
cookies. Yeah, that's a whole cookie pie. I'm the one that has more to lose
You're
here.
not supposed to gamble. You're not supposed to gamble.
No, oh, no, stop.
You're not supposed to
Oh,
gamble
man.
on campus.
Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to gamble on campus. They
rules.
FanDuel is
No,
gambling.
no, on campus.
FanDuel
This is-
and
this is-
DraftKings, everybody does it. That's
this is
gambling in
different.
itself.
This is different. This is not in college.
Oh my gosh, whatever,
Okay,
man.
okay.
College athletes do it.
They do.
Supposed to.
Not supposed to. Well, the NCAA did just rule on it being gambling, but oh man, I could laugh at. Honestly, Rashad has just gave me the laugh of the day.
Yo, he
But-
hurt my side.
But we,
I
If
can't
we
breathe.
win the show this week, the Jaguars win, and then what?
oh,
And they're 3-6, and then they win the next week, and they're 4-6. Then what? Then you guys will be like, oh, okay. The Jaguars
But you tell-
have a chance.
So if they lose 3 games, that's basically your whole.
if they
If
lose,
they lose 3.
If they lose
then
3
they
games, your
7-9.
argument's done.
No, they 7-9. I said at least.
no, you said 8 and 8.
You said 8 and 8.
This is
You said
8 and 8. This
I
is
said-
8 and 8.
I
You
said,
said 8 and 8.
I said no. When I said this before the season started, I said I believe the Jaguars will be 8 and 8.
This is the
And then I said-
Jaguars.
and then I said
Hold
at the
on.
least.
Let me
they
tell them
will
the
be 8 and 9.
remaining schedule. The remaining schedule for the Jacksonville Jaguars is the Ravens.
Who's bad?
They actually they
Yeah,
can
they
beat the
lost.
Ravens.
Yeah,
The Titans,
Who are bad?
that's a divisional game, my
They're
man.
right, but they're bad.
the Chargers. They're not as bad as their record
Mm-mm.
shows.
Mm-mm.
That's the team that their record is not as bad as they're not as bad as their record shows. The Titans again,
They're bad.
the Colts,
Bad also make that win.
the Falcons,
Lost.
the Saints,
What's the name? Just lost to a doo-doo team, the Falcons.
the Saints,
They didn't
and the
beat
Texans.
Jaguars, though.
Y'all do got a winnable schedule, but
Exactly.
it's the Jaguars. 8 and 8. But y'all are 2 and 6.
So
It's
before,
just-
before the season started, it was just the Raiders. But now look at them.
No. But people actually had hope. Derek
people
Carr
had
gave
hope.
people hope. Derek Carr, people were like, yo, Derek, they got someone Derek. And the quarterback's the most important position. People were like, Derek Carr's a bad
Mhm.
boy. People ain't saying that about Blake Bortles. my friend.
ACDC.
Ain't nobody about saying that about Blake Bortles.
Bortles.
Blake Bortles ain't no Derek Carr now. I'm just saying, Derek Carr been against a tougher competition, and he's balled.
I'm playing the same player.
Oh my. Anyways, gonna go on.
One has Amari Cooper, one doesn't.
We got to go on to predictions, y'all.
Real quick.
Oh my God, he didn't have Amari Cooper last year, and he was still balling.
Isn't he a rookie?
No,
Derek Carr's a sophomore.
Yeah, and he had Derek. He had nobody last year, and he was still balling. And he just got Amari Cooper. He was balling for a rookie quarterback. He was balling. He was better than Blake Bortles. I'm saying. For predictions tonight, Bills and Jets.
Oh, before we go to predictions, I want to give a shout out to you guys for doubting my man's BG at San Francisco. Blaine Gabbert getting that W. I just want to say that y'all doubted him.
Predictions. We're pretty much out of time. Bills, Jets. Who do y'all got winning?
Jets.
All right. We're just gonna go over the marquee games. Not a lot of great games.
Jaguars and Ravens. The Jaguars.
I skipped that game for a reason. Seahawks and Cardinals.
Cardinals, because they're still.
Oh, yeah, Cardinals. Yeah, that's a good game.
Vikings and Raiders.
That's not a key game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially for the Raiders. Yeah. Raiders wild card spot, and the Vikings are technically winning the NFC North right now. They're tied with the Green Bay Packers. That's a big game.
I would give it to the Vikings.
Okay.
Key game is the Cowboys game. Let's go to that one.
Bro, they
Patriots and Giants.
Patriots.
Browns Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
I'm done with this talk. You
said you're done.
You just put them as a key game.
That is a key game.
That's a divisional game.
That is, yeah, and their wild card race, they have to have a good division record. That's a big game, especially without Big Ben now. That's a big game.
Are you watching this?
And I already talked about
the Cowboys and the Bucs.
If it's on TV, I'll watch it.
No, you won't.
Johnny Manziel. I want to see how Johnny Manziel does. I'll watch it. I really will.
Johnny Manziel not starting this week.
He's not starting this week?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
They said if McCown's healthy, he started.
Yeah, McCown ain't healthy.
Wow.
But if McCown's healthy, I'll watch the game. I still watch the game.
Everybody watch the Cowboys, no matter what the record is.
Because we're forced to. The Cowboys are always on TV.
Everywhere.
Cowboys can be playing the Jaguars and they'll be on TV.
That's a great game.
And you know what? That's why I said that, to see what you were going to say. Just see what you're going to say. Let's see what you're going to say. That's like a battle of attrition. That's a game that you watch. Like, that's when you got that basic cable subscriber and you just can't watch nothing else. Like, you don't got NFL Red Zone. You just got to watch that.
When two trash cans hit each other.
That's what the Steelers and Browns about to be.
Yeah, not too much, man. All right, tonight is the Jazz and the Heat. Who do y'all got winning that?
Ooh, Miami.
You got Miami too?
My man D Wade.
All right, the Warriors and Timberwolves. No, really.
Hey, don't count my man Andrew Wiggins out.
Actually, no, he didn't play last night. Actually,
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, he has a wrist injury.
I don't
know if he's playing this tonight.
I mean, you can't stop somebody who's averaging 31.9 points a game.
Yes,
that's the issue, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That man Steph Curry's bad, bad booger wooker.
Hey, before you go, one of my friends he was texting me about this junk, and he says he sees the Warriors getting 70 wins. What do y'all see? You want to say one for another show?
We'll talk about that another time. We don't got time for that. We honestly went overtime, but you know, it's Dogs, we do it. But Clippers and Suns. Who do y'all got?
Clippers.
Word. I agree with the Clippers. I agree with y'all picks pretty much. Because the Jazz are doing a lot better than I thought they would be doing this season, led by Gordon Hayward.
I don't think the Clippers gonna lose you straight.
Oh yeah, that loss last night to the Mavericks was
was
rough. The Mavericks just came out to play in the second half. They started striking out of nowhere. Dirk Nowitzki dropped 31, looking like young Dirk. Dirk doing work. Shout out to my boy Nick. Wishes he was Dirk. But that's gonna wrap it up for today, y'all. Thanks for those tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter on KBR_sports, where you can see our topics for shows coming up, and where we post links to our live shows and past shows. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at KBR Sports, where you'll get notifications of us putting up our videos from our past shows and past segments. And you also subscribe to the WODU Live YouTube channel, where you can see our past shows on there also. And also, whenever you guys want to call in and join in on the debate, the phone number is 757-683-4405. So anytime you guys want to, give your intake, you can call in. But
if you want to be a guest host on the show and you just can't make it to the studio, just call in.
Exactly, man. We're convenient either way. We can come in. Hey, we take phone calls, take emails, take tweets. Now, okay, I don't know about tweets.